When she kisses him, he remembers. It's as if his past lives come flooding back to him, much like when we remember who we are by knowing all is love. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Thank you very much for all of the comments and everything, the new subscribers. It's been wonderful to see some new names, and it's been wonderful to see some old names. I really appreciated it. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully this can continue into the new year. I have a lot of really interesting and exciting content, I guess you would say, coming your way. These videos are not going to be as easy to get out as the other ones, and even the other ones were very hard to get out, but those videos were mainly just me talking, and so it was a little like, it was easier to get one out in a day than these videos that I'm working on now. I will do my best to get this content out as efficiently as possible because I have so much to share. But I've been working on this one video for quite some time, and it is quite something. I really hope you go and check it out. I encourage you to go check it out. It is about the Idaho murders. It is extremely interesting. The codes that I found in this story were very different from the normal codes. These were deeply hidden codes. Other codes that I have seen were very superficial, rather easy to detect. A lot of the codes that I found in this one were more subtle and buried in the text, buried in the language, just what people were saying and some of the visuals. So I ended up having to sit on it for quite some time because when I first started to decode it, it was not easy to see the codes. And so in the very beginning, I didn't see very much. And I waited until I did see something because I knew that this was an important story. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put it in front of our faces all the time. You cannot escape this story. Now, aside from the codes that are within the story, there's the superficial level of fear-mongering programming that is involved in this story that has to do with pre-crime. They're really pushing the genetic testing in order to find criminals. They're using technology, they're using cell phone technology, tracing technology, and they're involving the public in trying to solve crimes. Now, I don't know what makes people think that they're capable of solving a crime, and this crime in particular was solved without the public's help. There was one person who worked at the gas station who allegedly saw on security tape Brian, the suspect, driving by in a white Elantra, and that is what allegedly caught him and tied him to the scene of the crime. So things like this, like CCTV footage, cell phones, they tracked his phone and they found out that he had turned off his phone between the hours that the crime was committed. He was spotted in the area in this car. They tied the phone to the car. They tied him to the scene using DNA because they never found the weapon. And, you know, all of this is laying the foundations for pre-crime. I have links to about 4 videos regarding pre-crime on my video regarding the event, which is on my backup channel. I put all my decodes on my backup channel now. If you have not subscribed to my backup channel, please do so. These coded events are very important, understanding what's going on here. And it's also very important understanding not just the movie at large, but in understanding how it all fits together. And how to read the codes. Like, I don't just tell you what the codes are. I tell you how to detect them, and I tell you what to look for, and I tell you what they mean, and I tell you how to find out what they mean, and I show you all my work so that you can do it yourself. I want you to be able to do this yourself and, get rid of the mystery, get rid of the illusion, because the whole point is to get rid of the illusion, right? So there's a lot of other things going on that I have wanted to address, but I needed some time off, and even then I didn't really take time off this holiday. There's been a lot of really interesting questions, and thank you for asking, and asking in a very respectful manner. Some people are wondering about certain events or certain bad things that happen here. I will address that in a separate video, because a lot of people do have questions about, well, why do bad things happen here? Well, it's because we live in a trauma center, 911, emergency. It's here to wake you up. Because we're in the lower consciousness. We're in the carnal mind. A lot of people are having a hard time reconciling the idea that some of these things are fake and some of them are not. Why do people participate in the evils in this world? These are really important questions. I encourage you to try to answer them yourself, because even if I give you the answers, a lot of people are inclined not to believe it. And I don't want you to believe it. I want you to know it. I mean, who am I? Who am I to say? I only say that I want you to know it because I care and I'm trying to help. But I can't help anybody who doesn't want to be helped. I'm not here to convince you of anything, because I cannot convince you. You need to find out the answers yourself. I'm just showing you what I have found, and hopefully it leads you to see it as well. If you don't, you don't. There's nothing that I can do about that. And, there's going to be people who get angry at some of the things that I say or other people say, because they don't want to hear it, because it triggers something within them that they don't want to align with or agree with or believe. But the problem with the truth is, it doesn't give a shit about what you want to believe. Do you want the truth or not? And the truth is not comfortable. The things that come up, the things that you discover about this place and about yourself and about why we're here and where we are and what's going on here, are not comfortable. They're not meant to be comfortable, because you have to let go of this illusion that we live in. And this is another concern that a lot of people have, is this idea of it being a dream and being an illusion. Isn't that what the New Age purports? Isn't that what these people over here, these evil demons or what have you, say? I don't know if that's what they say. All I know is what I know, and what I have come to either conclude or learn or see about this place and understand about this place and know about this place through my collected knowledge and experience and insight and meditations and putting all of the pieces together. And there's little pieces in everything. And so if it is in some religion, or if it is in some other area of the world, that's probably a piece, because it's all just a different interpretation of the same thing. But as long as you're carrying fear and putting fear into everything and being afraid of everything, then those truths are going to elude you. So there's a lot of questions about the fear, a lot of questions about the evils of the world. There's a lot of questions about being misled or lied to or deceived yet again, and it's understandable. It is totally understandable. And I'm only sharing with you what I know. I'm not sharing with you what anybody else knows, unless it's information that I have gathered from other people like Bill Donahue or Santos Bonacci or whoever. Some of these people are shills, some of these people are misleaders, some of these people are truth tellers, some of these people have part of the truth, some of these people have a lot more truth. I just collect pieces and put them together so they make sense in the grand scheme of things. So that's all I can do. And it's all you can do. all of these shills, and you don't need to be afraid of the shills. You just need to be able to identify the shills so that you know to listen with discernment. They're there to teach you how to filter information using discernment. And shills are pretty obvious. And then there's like the lesser shills that are harder to detect. A lot of people don't want to believe certain people are shills, and they don't want to believe in shills. They see the idea of shills as division, or they see the idea of shills as a way to keep people in fear. And to me, this just says that you haven't honed your discernment yet. Because, I mean, yes, there's a lot of information from all sources, even mainstream media. You know, you can watch a documentary and find information within the documentary, and the documentary on the surface of it will be misleading. But there's information underneath that you can extract. There's subtle tells that they release that you can extract, and you can only do that if you've honed your discernment. So, for example, if I'm listening to Graham Hancock talking about the ancient apocalypse, I know that he's controlled opposition. I know that they're painting him as this person who is trying to expose the truth and people don't like it. Well, he still has documentaries on mainstream media. If he was really an oppositionalist, they wouldn't allow him on these mainstream platforms. And it's very easy to not allow him on there. They just don't air his show. Instead, they give him a platform and they give him a contract and they pay him lots of money. So, yes, he has some pieces of truth, but ultimately he doesn't dig very deep. He's not going to tell you the real truth. You're just going to have to pick up some pebbles that he offers and then look elsewhere for more information. And how do you know this? You know this from learning, from experience, and from going within, and from trusting your intuition. And you have to hone your intuition. You have to hone your discernment. Shills are nothing to be afraid of per se. Mind you, there are some dangerous shills. There's 3 types of shills. We were discussing this in the Discord group. There are the shills who will mislead you, the shills who will waste your time, and the shills who are dangerous. And they can be any combination of the 3. The ones who are dangerous are the ones who will cast spells, the ones who will hypnotize you, they will use mind control on you, they will induct you into a cult, try to control you, try to take your money and control you. There's a lot of things that are dangerous about some shills. And then the other 2 are not dangerous, but they will waste your time. They will misdirect you, lead you down rabbit holes that have nothing to do with the truth. They will entertain you, and they will suck time from you. This is why it is important to understand who's a shill and who's not. If you get something from them, by all means, watch them. What bothers me is there's a propensity for people in the truth community to latch on to certain shills, and because they tell them a little bit of truth that woke them up, like Andrew Tate, they are devoted to them. They worship them. You don't want to get into a situation where you are worshiping anybody. You can be grateful. You can appreciate that they gave you a piece of truth. They will give you certain pieces of truth for which you can be grateful. However, you don't want to get into a position where you are stuck listening to this shill who is not going to give you the truth, who is not going to not only not give you the truth, but ultimately lead you astray and lead you into all sorts of other things. But if you are willing to go down a dark path and you are willing to be guided in a dark way, in some cases that could be something you need to experience. In other cases, it could be that you're headed in the wrong direction. And this was another topic that came up. What about wars? Are they staged? Well, yes, I think they are. this is another topic for discussion. So, however, people do go to war, people do get hurt, people do die, but I don't think it is on the scale or level that they tell us that it is. And I don't think that what they tell us about this war, any war, is necessarily accurate. It's a story, and it's run by the higher-ups who tell us the story of what's happening in this war, and then they have people who will go out and enact the battle. But you can be fighting somebody you don't see. You could be throwing bombs at some distant enemy that's not even there, and then be told that you conquered them. And then they can lay the stage. They have their crisis actors lay the stage, and you go walking through the village and you see body parts and blood, and you see people injured and everything, and it's just an act. It's just a stage. Now, in some cases, it could be real. People do get hurt. I'm just saying that it is possible to fake it. I can't know for certain without being in a war myself how they do it or what they do. I do know that I have talked to soldiers firsthand and said, what did you actually see? And hard pressed, a lot of them have just said, well, I can't say that I saw us blow it up. I can't say that I saw us kill people. All I know is that we shot over there, and then we were told that we conquered it, and so we went over there and we saw the bus had blown up, and there was blood inside on the windows and everything, and so it looked like we had, but I can't say for certain that we did. But then I've also heard the opposite, where somebody was sitting next to their friend who got shot right next to them and died. I mean, I don't know the greater context of that. I don't know who this person was. It's tricky because there are people planted all over the place to make this movie seem real. And I don't say this lightly because I have relatives who fought in the war, World War I and World War II, and I have relatives who never made it back. Now, when you're using live ammunition and you're using planes and whatnot, and you're not really familiar with how to use these things, accidents happen. Part of it is that you are here to enact a movie, and you chose a role to be in. So some of that is not going to be positive. Some of that is not going to be, sunshine and rainbows, because we are in a trauma center. I mean, I've said this before, like, it's our judgment on their suffering that creates our suffering. But the person who is suffering can handle it. That's why they came here. That's what they came here for, was this experience. Who are we to judge to say that they shouldn't have that experience? They may not think that they want it when they're here in the physical, but there is a reason why they are having this experience, and only they can know why, and only they, from their own personal life story and life experience, they can figure out what that purpose is and what they do with it. Horrible things happen here all the time. It's what you do with it that matters. So anyway, this whole video is just to welcome you back and to guide you over to my backup channel to watch these decodes. If you haven't seen the Twitch decode, I highly recommend that one because it directly relates to the decode on the Idaho murders. There's so much in this. It's so important. And watch it to the end because it will blow your mind. Okay, so hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.